Hi, so I made an Apple Watch application in which people can check out live games, get the game info, and get the important players, get league news, and everything else they need to know in order to make small talk or just be in the conversation when they are with their friends watching a sports game. The inspiration behind this app was a mixture of a few things. First, I've worked in the journalism sports industry for a couple years, and one thing that I learned was that everybody should have some type of knowledge of sports, whether it's just one or a whole bunch, or whether it's local or around the country. And the reason I say this is because sports is a great way for people to relate to each other, especially, and it's a great way um, to start small talk that doesn't include the weather. So, another inspiration for this app came from my own mother. Um, she works as a regional sales manager, and so she travels all over the country all the time. In fact, she spends about half her time traveling. And anyway, she told me one time that whenever she gets off a plane in a new area, the first thing she does is pick up a local sports news paper. And the reason she does this is because of the reasons that I explained before. That it's a great way to relate to people, and it's a great way to have, or excuse me, it's a great small talk topic for being at a business meeting or even just, excuse me, or even just at the hotel bar. So, how about we get started with the application? So, as you can see, this is the home screen, and it's the home screen is called Live Games, and as you can see, here we have at the top the Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is the NBA, the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Chicago Blackhawks, which is hockey, and the San Francisco Giants versus the Philadelphia Phillies, which is baseball. So as you can see, you just got a quick glimpse of the quarter, what time and the score. So how about we jump into the app? So let's say you're watching the Golden State Warriors game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers and you have no idea what the heck is going on. What you want to do is open my app and click on this one right here. So then the screen scrolls down, or excuse me, scrolls up, and it puts you in game info, which is just a little more information in terms of the score, the time, where it's played, and the people who are playing. It's just kind of another way to focus on the game info without doing it all on the home screen. So from there, what the user will do to get to different sections of the application, they will slide left or right. So for instance, let's slide towards the left. When you slide towards the left, you can see how the screen actually does slide and put you into the schedule section. So the schedule section, in terms of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors, will show right now game 3, and then it'll give you the rest of the games as you go on. So you can even, let's say you're talking to people who really know the schedule, you can, say things like, hey, do you guys want to get together and watch game 5 on the 14th at 9 at my place? And so, it's just a way to get more involved with sports fans and, kind of just create a social aspect to it all. So let's go on to the next section. And again, you just slide to the left. And this brings you into the news section. What's going on with the news section is it's very, very small renditions of stories. Even, for instance, the LeBron is motivated by Cav haters. My hope is that this would be paired up with something like, NBC Sports, ABC Sports, Fox Sports, ESPN, to the point where you could click on one of these stories and it would bring you to a more detailed version of the story. But regardless, what I wanted to do with this news section is have, just like kind of political news in terms of sports and like gossip and just kind of everything you need in order to come off as somebody who actually watches sports and actually knows what they're talking about. So then the next section is the important players. Again, if I was paired with something like ESPN, you could click on one of these and it would take, for instance, Steve Curry, and it would take you to Stephen Curry's profile. But regardless, here are just some important players for both teams that if you don't know who they are, you really need to know who they are. So then you scroll again and you go back to game info. And so what you're going on here is if you swipe to the right, you go back to important players, you swipe right again, you get back to news, swipe right again, go back to the schedule, swipe right again, you go back to game info. And the way to get back to the home screen is very simple. You simply just drag any one of the screens down and you'll get put back into the live games. So that is the app. That's really all I have to say about it. I just went over 7 minutes, so I'm going to have to cut it off. But sounds great.